Howdy doody, tutti fruities. Okay, so I am making this video just to talk about how we can really be able to tackle this anxiety problem. One thing I want to start off with is by saying that you are certainly not alone in this, and there is every possibility that you can get better. But in order to do so, um, you need to put in the effort. So, um, don't mean to sound upfront about it, but it's just that's just the truth. It comes from my heart. It's something that I've had to come to realize myself. Uh, Say, for example, I would get very afraid to exercise because I end up feeling like I'm going to die. So now, yesterday I did something pretty much off the charts for me. Is that I did um, have a walk, did take a walk with my stepfather around a lake, and I did that a couple of times over. And while I was doing that, my anxiety levels were very, very high. They were just off the charts, just really, really high. And the more I walked, the more I began to realize that this is absolutely something that, I have to deal with myself. Now, you don't have to absolutely like put all this on your shoulders. Of course you don't. I'm not saying that you have to deal with this by yourself, because that just um, doesn't that conflicts with what the message of this video or my channel projects. So really, I'm not absolutely saying not that you have to deal with this by yourself, but really what I mean is that yes, you can have a support group and a support network of lots of people who do suffer anxiety behind you, who will cheer you on. But at the end of the day, you are an individual. So your genetic makeup never happened in the past and will never ever happen again in the future. You are a one-hit wonder. You are yourself, and so this is a very important. This is a very important thing to reflect on, because if you do not understand that you're an individual, and if you feel like this anxiety issue is so common. 1 in 7 people. There's 1 billion of us in the world. And if you feel like you are exactly the same as everyone else who has anxiety in the world, then really you are wrong, because every single person's brain is individual. Anxiety affects every single person their own way. There might be one person who will have a lot of things alike to another person who has anxiety, but it will never ever be exactly the same. So really what this means is that you're going to need to be able to look inward at yourself and really figure out what it is about your life that is causing you to be so anxious, and cause panic attacks for you all the time. So going back to my example of when I was walking around, my local lake, around the place, yeah, I was so anxious. And what happens with me normally is that I get really freaked out when my heart starts racing, because obviously when you're exercising, it actually mimics very much what it is like to have a panic attack. It's like a mirror sensation. You get short of breath because you start breathing quicker because you're in a you're doing basically cardio work, so it needs to deliver that oxygen to your organs a lot quicker, to be able to produce the energy to be able to go further, so it is absolutely a completely normal thing to be breathing quicker um, when you're doing cardio work or walking around. Not only that, but also like I got very, very fast heart rate. So my heart rate was going really, really, really fast. So these kind of things actually play together with your subconsciousness. So basically, obviously when you have the rapid heart rate, it 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 feels the exact same when you're exercising to when there's a panic attack. When you're breathing really quick, it mimics hyperventilation. So, it mimics that to the panic attack as well. Even the sensation of dizziness, you won't be able to find that, fine line of what is a panic attack and what is exercise. So you get that dizziness, you get that shortness of breath, and you also get that rapid heart rate. So all of these things together combined, at least for myself, made me feel like I was going to pass out or I was going to have a heart attack. But to be honest, now this is where like this inner strength of you needs to come from. So you need to be able to work up that inner strength to be able to continue on. Very, very difficult thing to do, but once you do it, you've actually pushed the boundary further and further of what is going to cause a panic attack for you. So you just keep pushing that boundary further. So what I mean by this is that before yesterday, I had absolutely no intention of going out and exercising because I was afraid I was going to die because of it, and that plays on your subconscious mind a lot. Your subconscious mind it does actually have a lot more control over you than you might think. I do not quote me on this, but I'll probably put it out there that you'd only have 1% control over yourself through your logical mind, your conscious mind, and 99% of your subconscious mind is basically the elephant in the room, that you're not addressing. So basically, so you're not noticing that elephant in the room. So really, what this means is that you need to address that and 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 fight through it, push that boundary further, because what you're doing is, so far your thought patterns have actually conditioned your brain to work a certain way. You have actually literally built neuronic pathways that control your habits and your behavior without you realizing. You don't even notice it. As soon as you notice it, as soon as you actually look for it, you'll actually suddenly begin to realize that, holy crap, it'll be like an epiphany, like, how did I let this control my life? It's just insane. And say, like, if you're anything like me, say to yourself, hey, I am actually going to go out and exercise. I actually am going to. I am going to walk out my front door and walk around the block, and I'm going to feel the physical sensations of my breath going quick and my heart racing and the dizziness, and I'm going to feel it all. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to appreciate that it's there. Absolutely, appreciate that it's there, but at the same time, don't let it stop you from what you initially intended to do. Before you go out and do something like this and confront your fears, you really want to make sure that you know what you're going to put yourself into. And as soon as you do that, you make that promise to yourself. You make that promise to yourself that you will not quit despite whatever you feel, okay? Because that is so, so important to be able to get rid of this anxiety issue you have. Okay, so that's my point there. So really, I'll go over it again. So you want to make sure that whatever is causing fear for you, whatever is causing anxiety for you, you absolutely need to put yourself out there. You need to put yourself into that situation. And you want to be able to keep a conscious mind through that. So this means you're putting your conscious mind before your subconscious mind. Remember that. The how you've been living your life mostly is by putting your subconscious mind first without even realizing it. So make it the other way around. Actually, point out the elephant in the room there. Okay. Um, secondly, is that you absolutely do have to work on this yourself. Okay. Um, at the same time, you can certainly have a support network of friends and family who will try to reassure you and keep you getting on with your life. Those people in your life who don't understand what you have. You really want to make sure um, that they are absolutely by your side. But that alone is not enough. That is absolutely not enough. I've tried to rely on other people to make me feel better about my anxiety and for me to overcome my anxiety, but really, 99, I'm going to say it, 100% of what you, of the work is meant to be from you. Okay, so it is because that every single person's brain is individual. Even if you think, for example, like identical twins, people who have the exact same genetic makeup, one twin might be anxious and the other twin might not have, anxiety at all. The twin that does have anxiety may have lived through an experience that has been traumatic to them. And whereas the other one hasn't, and the one that's experienced that trauma, experienced that first panic attack, is going to have to live with that for the rest of their lives, and that is something that they need to do individually and by themselves. So that even goes behind my point even further. So exactly that basically, even if there was an identical twin who had the exact same genetic makeup, that twin needs to make sure that they're working whatever they can to fix this problem, because it is something that is individual to them. And just list it out, within yourself. Even write it down. Get a journal out and really write it down. Write down and think about what is it in your life that's causing all this anxiety for you. Is it going out into crowds and and being amongst crowds? You may feel like everyone's looking at you, or everyone's breathing on you. You really put yourself in there and feel your heart racing and feel yourself hyperventilating, but keep a conscious mind. Keep yourself in control of the situation. Put yourself in front of the situation and point out the elephant in the room. Point out the elephant in the room and say to yourself, okay, well, logically, I am not going to die from this. How am I going to die when there's through people just looking at, uh, through this sensation of people looking at me? Sure, my heart's racing and everything, but is anything going to go wrong? Is there really anyone who's going to really approach me and kill me? Of course not. Just really keep that, or be it, you fear swimming in the ocean. You hate the water, like so much to the point where you can't even swim in your backyard pool because maybe you might have seen something on television when you're 12 or 13 years old where someone had died from a shark attack or something, and that's made you fear water. You need to put yourself out there. Go swim in the ocean. You don't have to put yourself in there like straight away. You don't have to put yourself in experience, even with crowds or whatever. Just put yourself in small little groups. Put yourself in those small groups and work yourself way up into crowds, or start swimming in like a little makeshift backyard pool that's like 3 meters in diameter or something, and then just put yourself into the pool and put yourself into the ocean. Just keep working at it. Point the elephant out in the room and smash it. Absolutely smash that. Okay. So as I said again, uh, all of it comes down to you have to sort it out yourself. I wouldn't like for you to have to start going on medication and rely on that wholeheartedly. Now, I'm not actually exactly against medication, but I am all for if medication can be used to be a stepping stone into um, uh, fixing the anxiety, along with therapy, and also alongside you having to work it out yourself. Okay, so that is especially important. But don't just rely on medication fully and wholeheartedly, because there's going to be one day where the medication is gonna was either is you would have built up a what's the word there'll be a point where you've built up a dependency on it, and your body's grown too used to it, and then one day you're going to have to quit that medication, go through all those nasty withdrawal symptoms that may last weeks on end, where you have not even addressed the issue yourself. If your anxiety is that bad enough that you have to go on medication, go for it, but don't just let that be the only thing you do. You need to also put in the therapy work and the work within yourself, and build up that inner strength in yourself, using it as a platform, using it as a stepping stone to be able to achieve what you need to achieve in yourself. This is a journey that is for you. This is something that you need to confront yourself, and nobody else can ever be able to step in for you to help you out, because it just never works. You need to do it yourself, but just remember that you're not alone with this. You're absolutely not alone with this. There's so many people out there that have the same anxiety, panic issues out there. I've met so many people who are out there, it's not even cool. But the reason why they're getting stuck like that is, yes, they might realize that it is so common, but they're not addressing it themselves. They're relying on other people or other things like medication or whatever to be able to fix this problem. So really, like, I don't, going back to what I said earlier, I don't want you just have to get to the point of having to just go on medication and not address the issue. You can even not even go on medication, like, no matter how bad your anxiety is. It is obviously if it's actually so bad that you're not even going out of your house, if you're not even actually stepping outside of your bedroom because it causes a panic attack for you, you can absolutely be able to handle this without medication. All the work comes from inside yourself. But if you feel like you need that medication, then do it. Like, just do it as a stepping stone if it has really got that bad. But don't try to rely on it for too long. Keep working at it. You can do it even without medication. You can do it without other people. You can do it yourself. And that's just really what I want to give out to you today. My experience through my exercise yesterday. I felt like I was honestly going to die, but I kept a rational mind about it. And now I'm not so afraid walking, because you know what I thought in my head? I thought that if I get through this, if I get through just this one experience of where I'm walking around and I'm exercising, and if I don't die from this, then really there is no reason why I should die from having to from just standing around and having a panic attack. I'm actually putting my body through more work and more bodily sensations than what a panic attack does. And when I'm exercising and it's more intense than a panic attack, it is at that point that I realized that when I did return back home, I I had the biggest epiphany in my life. I was so happy. I was like, wow, I can actually obviously survive through this experience. And and so whatever you do, through crowds, going to do whatever, or just remember that it's not going to kill you. I know a lot of people say that. I understand wholeheartedly, but just keep that in mind. That, like, just keep in mind, whenever you subject yourself to that experience that is causing you anxiety, just remember that that if you survive that experience, uh, you're going to survive a panic attack. And so if you survive that experience, then you can say, logically in your mind, you can say that, hey, there is no reason why I should be having a panic attack then. I am surviving through this all good and fine. So that's it. Point the elephant out in the room. Put yourself out there and do all the work yourself, and also keep that support network going, because without that support network, you're not going to be able to find the inner strength so easily inside yourself. Do it for other people. I even do it for my own mum. It really breaks my heart that my mum has to see me go through experiences like this, and she is behind my back, and there's other people who are behind my back, and I absolutely do it for them, but I also do it, for my mum, and just keep remember, you're not only just doing this for yourself, you don't have to just do it for yourself, but you also have to do it for people around you as well, to show that you're that bigger person, that person with inner strength. Hope this helped, guys.